The art of finishing. Somehow, the best strikers in the game always seem to find the net, and you want to do the same. But how? Well, it's all about practice and repetition to sharpen your instinct.
And today, we're gonna give you a 30-minute training session to help you improve your finishing in different shooting situations, and also help yourself by really getting used to always finding the goal, no matter where in the box you may find yourself in a shooting position. Before we go out though, it's a good idea to take a look at what the pros actually do themselves. And watching clips of England, Manchester City, FC Barcelona and Real Madrid during finishing training, we can see that the players are put in positions where they move with the ball and then get in different scoring positions in order to replicate a real-life match situation as well as possible. Taking inspiration from that, you might be on your own and might not be able to actually bring a keeper to the pitch. That would be the best thing, but you can still do something relatively similar to what the pros do. And here you want to set up the goal using two markers that are set up near the two posts, creating an area that we can call the high scoring chance zones, because chances are if you hit these areas, it's going to result in a goal, unless the keeper is David De Gea. Now, I've also seen people actually hang up shirts or bags in the upper 90, but for me, it's not really necessary here because going for the top corner is also a high-risk shot, and the purpose of these drills is to improve your conversion rate rather than scoring these money shot screamers. You can do that another day.
It kinda goes without saying, but before we get started, make sure you're warmed up and stretched properly. Because it's no use being a deadly goal scorer if you're sat on the bench being injured.
The first drill here is set up straight down the middle, and I'd probably spend approximately the first 10 minutes on doing this. What you do here is run from the first cone to the second cone, you turn around, and then you can either take the ball with the inside, go to your left, or use the outside and go to your right. Then, once you've turned with the ball, put it into the goal, into one of the high scoring chance zones, and that's basically it, easy peasy. Now I know most of you are probably gonna use your strong foot the most, but make sure to train both the strong and the weak foot here, and once you feel comfortable with that, you can also apply a little body feint before you do the turn. So when you do these drills, try and force yourself to either go lower in the goal or aim for the higher areas, because this middle area is gonna be a lot easier for the keeper to save the ball in once he starts diving. And as for the shooting technique in general in itself, I would usually use the inside of my foot and do a more play shot if I go for the near post, and then slightly angle my foot a little bit more, use the top part of the instep to get a more powerful direct shot if I'm aiming for the far post. And you should too. I would probably also spend around 10 minutes on the second drill, which is placed on the right side of the box. Now here you approach the cone. Initially, you take a touch around the cone, you set yourself up, and you finish aiming for that far right corner. I would probably also do a few variations when I start approaching the cone, go around it, set yourself up, and aim for the lower part of the far corner. And then for round two, I would do the same thing, but aim a little bit higher. And once you feel comfortable doing that, I would start treating the cone as an actual defender. So when you approach it, you can do a bit of a body feint, you can do some step overs, whatever you would do to a defender in real life, and then go low, go high, switch it up a little bit. You can, of course, also start from the side and then cut in, set yourself up for a shooting position. Or if you're feeling really tricky, you can do the V drag back and set up for the shot. And basically what you want to take away here is that try to shoot as quickly as possible after you've rounded whatever obstacle is in your way. Now, something else I want you guys to understand is that when you find yourself in a shooting position in this area of the box and you're aiming for that far corner, try to shoot low. Because when you're aiming for the far corner, the ball has to travel across the goal, and that takes a bit more time. So it takes a little more time for the keeper to actually dive down and get the ball low than it takes if he has to simply stretch up his arms and catch the ball with his hands if you shoot high. And the same thing really applies if he, for some weird reason, leaves an open space to his near post. Here, you want to shoot high because it's simply more efficient. It's the oldest striker's tip in the book. Near post, shoot high, far post, shoot low. I would then spend my last 10 minutes on drill number 3, which is set up on the left side of the pitch to help you cut inside and set yourself up for a deadly curler. Now here, I would go around the cones, Easy peasy, I would take the ball, I would run towards the cone, I would cut inside, and I'd set myself up for that deadly curler to the far post over the keeper, if you have one. Imagine there's a keeper in there, you want to try and bend the ball over him. And if you can aim as high in the goal and as far out to the side netting as possible, it's gonna give you a higher chance of the ball simply just curling and dipping down just as it reaches the goal out of the reach of the goalkeeper's hands. It's a pretty high-risk shot and relatively difficult to pull off, but once you understand the technique, it can be absolutely devastating. Now, something I also reckon you should try and do is to sometimes force yourself to shoot in the short corner. Try to keep an eye on the keeper here, because once you open up your hip and lean back your body, he's gonna think you're gonna shoot in the far corner for that deadly curler. But if you shoot short corner while keeping the same body position, you might catch him on the wrong foot and get a relatively easy goal. In general, it's a good idea to start working on the placement first and then move on to applying power once you feel comfortable. Because let's be honest, there's no point in shooting with power if you just close your eyes and you aren't able to put the ball where you actually want it. With that said though, it's always a good idea to use some sort of power in a match to make sure that the ball actually beats the keeper, you know. It's also a really good idea to always put yourself in a lot of different situations when you train these drills to make it as match-like as humanly possible, because then you're going to be ready for everything the world throws at you in a football match. So there you have it, my friends, a 30-minute training program that can hopefully help you improve your overall finishing. So go out there, train, and go get some goals. And if you want to look really good while doing so, you can go and buy the Mizuno Morelia Neo 2 made in Japan from the day and night pack that I've been rocking in this video to get some of the finest football boots around. And you can do that by clicking the link to our store right over there. What you also want to click is the subscribe button and the little notification bell button to get a little bling every time we release a video. And after that, you should really go and check out more finishing tips from an actual pro by clicking the video right down there. With that said, guys, I'm signing off. Cheerio.